Although we touch on this Polarian feature in our video on manual testing, round trip for Microsoft Excel is something a lot of people want to know about, so in this video we'll try to give you a quick handle on the basics. First of all, let's touch on why you might want to use Excel round trip. Most of the Polarian customers who use it find it's a good way to collaborate with external stakeholders who, for one reason or another, don't have access to their Polarian portal. They use Excel round trip when they want to provide work item information in a table format as opposed to a document. You can use the Word round trip feature for that, and you can watch our Word round trip video to learn more about it. The main use cases for Excel round trip are collaboration on requirements and logging the results of testing. Let's look briefly at both of these. Before we go into specifics, let's quickly outline the round trip process. First, someone from your project team exports a set of work items for Excel round trip. The exported Excel file is sent to the external stakeholder by email or whatever means. The external stakeholder reviews the exported Excel file and updates work item data. In some cases, they might even create new work items. The external stakeholder then returns the modified Excel file to the project team member who re-imports it into Polarian. The import process updates all modified work items with the external stakeholder's changes and creates new work items in the system if any were created in the Excel workbook. Let's look now at a requirements example followed by a test cases example. Here's a fairly typical scenario, some requirements defined in a Polarian LiveDoc document. Let's export some of these for review, wording tweaks, and approval by an external stakeholder. The first thing is to define which requirements we'll export to Excel. For that, we need to go into the table view of the document. In the table view, we do a simple query to isolate, say, just the requirements having draft status. The table now shows the items we want to export. So we go to the toolbar to Operations and choose Export. We want to export to Microsoft Excel, so we choose that format. Next, choose the Export template. This controls some layout and other properties of the exported Excel file. For now, we'll just choose this basic template. Now we specify what work item data we want to export for our external stakeholder and what we want to allow him or her to modify. The dialog shows that ID, title, and severity are pre-selected for export, and they will be locked for editing. Let's accept this, and then let's add the description field, which we call column in this dialog because that's what it is in Excel, and we'll allow this to be edited. And also let's add status and allow it to be edited so our stakeholder can approve or reject items. Let's peek quickly at these advanced options. Nothing critical to change, but let's just uncheck this field. Since our recipient doesn't have access to our portal, there's no point in providing links into it. When we launch export, Polarian warns us about possible consequences of allowing certain data to be modified. In this case, we're exporting for review and approval, so we're okay with the status field being updated externally. Now we've switched hats and we're the external stakeholder who has received the exported Excel file. Here are all the fields we selected in all the items that we exported. If we try to edit title, we see it's protected. But we can change description because we specified that as editable when we exported. We can also change the status, so let's say 2 items are approved by the stakeholder and 1 is rejected. Now the external user saves the changes and returns the Excel file to the project contact person. Back in our Polarian portal now and looking at the requirements we exported. Let's import our stakeholders' changes by going to Operations. Format is Excel round trip changes. We select the modified Excel file on the local file system. And note this option. If we check it, the changes in the Excel file will overwrite any conflicts that may exist on the portal. For example, if someone has rejected an item and it's approved in the Excel file, then the Excel status will be used. So we start the import process, and Polarian reports the result. Everything was okay, so let's go see the items. And we can see that the description and the status match what our external stakeholder did in the Excel sheet. Things work pretty much the same for other kinds of work items, so let's finish up with a quick look at a scenario for test cases. To export test cases for external testers, the main difference from what we've already seen is the starting point. Rather than a specification document, you begin with a test run. See our video on manual testing for more about these. When you select a test run for manual type tests, you see this link. This will export all the test cases defined for the test run to Excel. Using Excel, your external tester logs the results obtained when executing the test cases. They can also log comments. When testing is complete, they send the updated Excel file back to the project contact. In Polarian, you go back to the test run to launch the re-import of the results using the re-import link. After selecting the modified Excel file, check the import options, they're pretty self-explanatory, and click Start. We can see that the import succeeded, and the test run is updated with the results of all test cases executed by the external testers. Hopefully this short tutorial will get you thinking about how you can use Polarian's Excel round trip to best advantage. Your feedback is welcome on the web page for this video on our site, or email us at info@polarian.com.